Okay! Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another session of Crusader Kings 2! We are back straight off from a very interesting previous session in which Hrafn, Chief Hrafn of Skåne, just had the most interesting of opportunities come forth to him. See, he's been struck down with cancer from the early age of near 30 or something. He's 34 now, but I think he only just turned 30 when he was given the diagnosis. So ever since he's been put into power, he's been in fear for his life. The fatigue, the coughing, the tumors underneath his skin, it's all making him fearful as to when he's gonna pop his clogs. He's worried he's not gonna be able to make a real mark on this here world before the time comes when he is to pass. So he was kept awake for many nights, thinking about the meaning of life and death, until he came up with the idea of conducting a realm-wide search for answers as to how to achieve eternal life. And that is when he came across this here woman, Amita Iron Grip, a muscular, horrifically scarred, mystic African woman from Odin only knows where, who claims she has the answers to the secret, but basically says we have to trust her judgment. She's clearly leaving no room for us to question her, and the fact that we're taking in this foreigner, this heathen, this weird pseudo-scientific mystical lady is unsettling for most of the court. We even had our own sister trying to talk us into, or well, she offered to investigate her on our behalf to see whether she was the real deal or not. But Hrafn is too proud for his own best. He knows that she possessed the answers to a cure for his sickness, and he won't have no nonsense. He must know the secrets. He will do what it takes to rid himself of this ailment. And we can only really wait and see where this takes us. Now, I did some reading of this online just to refresh my memory around this whole concept, because it's been such a long time ago since I received, or well, since I've come across this event chain in any of my games. Like I mentioned previously, it happened a couple of times in my Game of Thrones playthroughs, and I think I don't quite remember how far I made it, but I was in the middle of the chain, the event chain, and something must have gone horribly wrong because my character died. I'm guessing it had to do with the fact that the mystic I hired at that time was a fraud, because from what I've understood, there's like a 90% chance that these here mystics are they're just fakes, that they're just feeding us baloney, and that at the end of it we're either gonna die or suffer some other horrible consequences. So there's a genuine chance that this here lady is just taking us for a fool, that all that she does is spoon feeding us bullshit, and indeed it's possible it will end up costing us our life. We might have a very, 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 very short rule with Hrafn here. But you know what? I think we're gonna risk it anyways. Like, the next son to inherit us, Harald, fittingly named after his grandfather, he's 13 years old. He's soon to be 14. So we'd be in a regency. But a very brief regency. It'd be like only for 2 years, and then we'd have a brand new character in power, a clean slate, a fresh beginning, someone we could mold and shape pretty much freely. Excuse me there. So yeah, it honestly wouldn't be the end of the world if Hrafn here was to pop his clogs, but on the odd chance that this lady does turn out to be the real deal, on the odd chance that her trials are true, and we do achieve immortality, that in itself would be an amazing feat. That this has never happened in any of my playthroughs, and I've never done a playthrough of this on camera like this. All of my playthroughs of CK2 ever have been off camera. All of the 1500 hours I have spent playing this game, I have never got an immortal character. So this would be a first, and what a fitting way to have your first immortal character in your first ever playthrough on YouTube. So I'm really excited about this. I really am. We might be in for a record short session now, because Hrafn may die after 30 minutes, but hey ho, I'm willing to take that chance. I want to see where this event chain goes. But anyways, before we do that, we're gonna do our customary tour around the world just to take a look at the state of things. And I want to start right off with my own lands that are being besieged by this idiot host army who's not at war with anybody, whose clearly only objective is to go around and loot people. So like, that makes no sense. He's just around there literally to fuck with us. But you know what? I took a bit of a look around, and I figured out a way how we could turn this to our advantage and even keep it within the roleplay. You see, this guy Thorgil, of Thorgil's host, if you take a look at the family he's part of, he is a son of former chief Fredrik of Blekinge, and hence a brother of the current ruler, Hrafn of Blekinge. He is a guy with sympathy for Christian religions. He's been publicly humiliated, somehow in some form, I don't know what. But if we hover over the opinions, you'll see that we've got a -24 opinion of him. So like, for whatever reason, Hrafn is no fan of him, and we're absolutely not a fan of Thorgil here, because he's pillaging our lands. So I reckon by the time we've demolished this here province, someone must have got a messenger over to the Ukraine, notified Hrafn of what's going on, and hence he'll be rushing back to defend his lands. And seeing as it was a family member of the Blake family, the very brother of the chief of Blekinge, I reckon Harald could use this as a pretext to claim Blekinge without an actual claim. You'll do a border dispute, albeit a dishonorable border dispute, but the way Hrafn reasons is he's going to punish dishonor with dishonor. You can't keep control of your own family members, Refer. Your brother came and pillaged my lands. If anybody was to have kept him under control, it would have been you. And now you will be punished for your incompetence. I'm gonna take your lands and I'm going to rule them in a much better fashion than you are. And like, who's gonna stop me? King Hordknut? King Hordknut's busy dealing with his other vassals. He ain't gonna have the time or honestly the interest to care about us. So, yeah. I'll give myself a little bit of a handicap and wait until this here bar is completely empty before we move back home. And, there was another thing I wanted to look into. Actually, as I head over real quick to the kitchen to grab myself another glass of water, because hey-ho, I forgot about it again. So, if you'll excuse me, just a quick second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back again. I don't know why I need this much water in my sessions, but I just feel like all this talking is making my throat dry. So, like, I gotta have a glass of water at hand to avoid having to make any, you know, throaty, gurgly sounds, because it just sounds horrible. I'm recording directly on the mic of my headset, so I haven't got any of these fancy filters and stuff that people use to get a better quality of their sound. Like, what can you say? I'm a cheap person. I don't want to have to spend more money on stuff than necessary. But anyways, another thing I wanted to make note of was down here in Bohemia, because I noticed when checking things off camera that our nephew Björn, he is converted entirely to the Bohemian culture and to the Slavic religion. Clearly, he's been separated from his mother. His mother's, that's got a blue eye, mind you, a member of the Wolf Warriors and a black eye. He's been separated from her for such a long time that he's pretty much not known anything else other than the Bohemian culture. He's been specifically set out to be assimilated into the culture. He's had Bohemian guardians, Bohemian regents. He's been raised in an environment where they only speak Bohemian. So I guess it was only a matter of time before he'd embrace the culture where he was in, and there wasn't really much we could do about it. But in a way, it's still gonna be interesting. I mean, after all, he's still a member of our dynasty. He'll still marry and have children in our dynasty. It's just that we're gonna have a foreign branch of it, and in a way, that's pretty cool as well. So I've marked him also as a person of interest, because I'm really curious to see what this little story arc turns into. Anyways, a few more events around the world that I've taken notice of is that King Gelduin here, Gelduin the Repulsive of West Francia, has declared war on his brother Carloman of Aquitaine, because Gelduin has come to the conclusion that he wants Aquitaine for himself, and he's already halfway through winning that war. He wants all of West Francia and all of Aquitaine solely for himself. And he's willing to wage wars on his very own brother to make that happen. So we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, the King of Brace, King Solomon III, is launching a holy war against Namsborg, for the territory of Brittany, for the entire kingdom here of Brace, to seize it from the Vikings and banish them to the Isle of Britain, where England will no doubt cast them back out into the sea. So we'll see how that goes. Godselin is still holding on, but he's under pressure from this rebellious faction, this peasant revolt, border dispute, and a Viking invasion from Uhtred's son Åke, no less, because he wants to take Oldenburg. So, well, yeah, I think with these were the most major events I came to think of. One more thing, though. It seems Harald Hårfager has finally kicked the bucket. He died of great pox 3 years ago. He's inherited by his son Folki, who rules Viken, and his other son Halvdan, who rules Vestlandet. So there ain't gonna be a new Kingdom of Norway anytime soon now. And leadership of the Wolf Warriors has been passed on to Svein of Öland, the living legend and the founder of this here bloodline, which was pretty much a given. I mean, let's make use of the legend while he is alive, yeah? A living legend and all. Still miffed off about the fact that Harald missed out on it. Anyways, I think we've gone on long enough with our little preamble. Let's keep the game rolling. We're gonna finish looting here, and then we're gonna go back and defend our lands. Then we'll see if we become immortal or not. Like, 9 out of 10 chances they'll probably be just a fake, but I want to see it for myself. I'm gonna take this here chance, because either it'll go to hell and it won't be no big surprise, or we'll succeed and it'll be absolutely epic. So, like, in a way it's still a win-win, as we've got 5 different types of messages of our brothers and nephew doing all their various stuff. Okay. Amita hands you a beautiful dagger, the antelope. Funny, where would we get the antelope from? They're African creatures, but whatever. The antelope, held down onto a stone slab, is surprisingly calm. Thank you, you say quietly to the animal. You hesitate only a second before slicing its throat. The blood pours down the altar, and Anita nods solemnly. Your heart flutters at the notion of having pleased the statuesque character. Your grandfathers and mothers would be proud, Amita announces. Thank you, Amita, for having me do this. Okay. So I guess we passed this first test. Oh, now you're going away. Really, now you've just gone away. You were satisfied to loot my lands, and then you just left. Jesus bloody wept. Fine, let's go back to looting then. Like, there's no point of being going back now if the raiders are just gonna leave. They had no intention of leaving when I was playing last time. This must be some gamey kind of bullshit, because when I played this in the last session, they had no intention of leaving. Anyways, what place do we want to take next? Let's go to Turov. Yeah, we'll go to Turov, then we can go to Slutsk and then Pinsk. Oh, it's the Pripyat River. Really? Pripyat, isn't that the location of Chernobyl? That's gonna be a real major thing in about 1,000 years from now. The conversion of Kujavia. Oh, the tribes of Kujavia, oh man, here in Poland, have been converted to the Orthodox faith. A group of priests sent by the basileus of the Byzantine Empire, have performed a great ritual during which they have converted the entire population of Kujavia alongside High Chief Krakus and many of his vassals. With this act, the people of Kujavia have once and for all forsaken their old pagan gods. Oh wow. Oh man. The Christian conversion is slowly but surely encroaching upon Europe. Not the Catholic conversion though, the Orthodox. Imagine if Orthodox Christianity is gonna sweep up here instead of the Catholic one. Like, the Catholics have kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit with all their heresies going on. It's preventing them from progressing eastwards, yet at the same time it's leaving the door open for the Orthodox religion. I don't know. Might just provide us some Norse people with a bit of a cushion till the Christians arrive, but we don't really want the Orthodox folks breathing down our necks either. Oh shit! A 7,000-man army. We're absolutely gonna have to keep an eye out for that, because if that army starts engaging us, we're gonna be pretty damn screwed. Ooh! Oh yes! We're gonna check out these women later, because right now something's happening. Siege of Turov tribe. While looting the holding, one of your men came upon a strange locking key made of an unknown metal. You have only seen such a metal once before. That mysterious chest that has been inherited and passed along in your family. It's still gathering dust somewhere in your chambers. Could this be the key that opens it? Yes! Look, this here strange chest. This strange chest that we acquired all the way in 867. This was back in the days when Harald looted England at the very beginning of his rule. This is like 50 years away from now. He couldn't open the chest. Nothing could open the chest. Could we finally have found the key to open the chest and reveal its contents? Like, we found the chest all the way over here, and the key somehow magically ended up all the way over here. Well, let's have a find out, see what's inside. The key fits the lock, and trembling with anticipation, you slowly open the chest. Oh, but disappointingly, it only contains a few parched scrolls that crumble into dust at your touch. Whatever wisdom they held has been forever lost to the world. Ah, damn it. Well, that was a gigantic waste of time. Just my luck, I guess. Just my luck. But if I can trade this away for luck with the Immortality Chain event, it'll be totally worth it. Oh, wait a second. Oh! Hordknut decided he's gonna go and help Namsborg out to defend against Breeze in their holy war. Well, good luck with that, Hordknut, but I ain't having no part in that. I guess Hallgrim is, though, because he's leading troops over here alongside the king himself. We'll see how that goes. What's Holmgir doing? He's running a bit of a deficit, but I think he's doing good. I think everything is fine. Oh, I almost missed this. Almost missed out on this completely. Let's go over to the other side and loot Slutsk. Yeah, we're gonna have a slight penalty, but it's no big deal. They're only 200. Right. I forgot the damn people in my prison. We are going to ransom this lady. We're going to release the child and release this woman because she can't be ransomed. And that should be all there is to that. Yes. To the foul-food Hrafn. I pay to have you release my wife. Thanks a lot, dude. Victory. So we release all these people. And we commence looting this here other place. Okay, we've collected about 100 gold now, so for being far away eastern poor lands, we've still yielded quite a profit. And like we've made something with our time. We haven't just been sitting around waiting. Speak of the devil, we've got our claim. We have finally procured ourselves a claim on the Chiefdom of Blekinge. We're using that straight away. Okay. Chancellor, go and do the same thing with Bornholm. We're just going to finish raiding this place, then we're going straight back home and declaring our first war. Oh yes. Oh yes, at long last, finally, we will be able to seize new lands. And what the hell is this? Something I thought I'd suppressed and finally subdued has risen inside me. Unchaste thoughts have begun to appear in my mind. Oh, he loses the chaste trait. Maybe it's the African woman playing with his head. Look, she's been dueling people. Like, what is going on? She's already scarred enough as it is, and she goes fighting people all over again. Like, what the hell is the deal with her? Maybe she's the one that's filling our head with impure thoughts. Maybe no longer he's gonna be faithful solely to his wife. We'll just have to wait and see. As our next son, Geir, needs to have an education chosen for him. Let's make him a warrior too. I mean, if he's set out for a warrior education, we might as well give him a warrior education. I mean, anything could happen to our eldest son, and then we'd have to play as Geir. Okay. Bandits have raided the siege camp. Whatever. Amita's sacred jar. Amita knocks on your door one evening carrying a large ceramic jar. Animal motifs and ornaments encircling it. Puzzled, you invite her in and pull out 2 chairs. Student Hrafn, I'm pleased with the sacrifice you performed, she says, sitting down on the floor. She places the jar in front of her. Your ancestors are surely appeased, but I thought it would be a good time to prove to them your strength further. As she removes the lid from the jar, you hear a hissing noise. A large snake launches at you, and you are left to your instincts. Well, we're certainly not going to run. Reach for a heavy... Ooh. We could reach for a heavy object, a large book on the table, and try to block the snake with it. Or we could play the risky game. We could grab the snake by our very hands, which would appear to be more brave, but it could quite literally come right back to bite us and we die. Now, from what I know of this event chain, you have a likelihood of failing all these various steps, and the likelihood of failing increases for each new step you get to. And the thing is, it's these most risky approaches that carries the great likelihood of success, but also carries the greatest risk. So, like, we could die right here. If we want the best chance of success, we would have to pick this, but if we want the best chance of survival, we'd have to pick this. So, like, what do? What is some the reasonable thing for us to do given what we want? I'm just gonna grab the snake by its neck and hope we don't die right here and right now. I think I made it clear in the beginning. I said this is immortality or bust. It's not the biggest deal in the world if Hrafn does die. And I don't dislike Hrafn. I'd love to keep playing as him and have him make an impact in the world, but like again, this event chain, it never really happens. I've only come across this a few times before, and this is the first time in the standard vanilla game that I've come across it. So now that it's here, it's do or bust. Grab the snake by its neck. Amita's eyes widens as you, with the speed of a heron, reach out and grab the snake by its neck. The creature writhes in your hand and you proceed to slam it against the table, hard. In a state of panic, you repeat the action several times, before you hear Amita's steady voice getting through to you. Master! Master, the soul is gone. You can let it go, you did good. The snake is limp in your hold. Your palms are sweaty. Whew! That was intense. And we get brawny for it. Wow! With an with a fighting skill of martial of 38. That is absolutely insane. Oh man, it's going to be such a damn shame if Hrafn dies now. As our wife is pregnant again. No, that's not why. But it's gonna be a real shame if he dies, because never again are we gonna have a character that's got this much martial. It's just absolutely insane. Like Jesus. Okay, we seized 5 gold from this place. Let's just loot the rest and be on our way back home. Or never mind. They're coming to get us. We don't really want to be around. Go back to the boats. 6th of February, 1st of February. Okay, let's just not be greedy. Let's get out of here. Back to school on that. We don't really want to draw the ire of the Kievan Rus armies upon us, especially when we're about to wage war on somebody else. As he's growing older, I can see that Harald could use some guidance in some of my experienced areas. It will require hard work and may not always be appreciated, but this is my chance to make a self-sacrifice for the sake of Harald. See, now this here would make sense. This is a situation where it makes sense to make a self-sacrifice for our children, because this is our son. This is a child we have chosen specifically to tutor. It's not just a random courtier whom we've had thrust upon us that we're suddenly to treat as our own child. No, this is Harald. This is our son, Harald Ravnsson, whom we can reward with an additional trait. And well, we could give ourselves the stress trait and make him diligent, teach him our own virtue of diligence. But I don't know, I kind of want to give him ambition. It's gonna make us bitter rivals, because I'm guessing it's gonna give him some sort of a rough lesson, but honestly, it'd still fit in a roleplay perspective, because Hrafn is the kind of person to go and get what he's striving for and not waiting around. He's seen the poor example of his father, and it would still be within his character to want to instill the opposite mentality on his son. So honestly, I think both of these work, even though technically speaking this would be more in line with his actual traits. I don't think we're bugged about patience, and we're absolutely not going to let him learn on his own, so it's a toss-up between ambitious and diligent. Would we want to become rivals with our own son, though? I don't want to be cheesy and gamey and just give myself all the best advantages just because I can. But at the same time, I do feel it would be within the character to give him the ambitious trait, because in a way we are a man of ambition. Like, our days are numbered and we want to accomplish as much as possible, and we're working hard to accomplish it. +2 to everything, and increased personal combat skill. I'm genuinely torn here. Like, I'm really genuinely torn here. It's -1 to health if we get the stress trait. Already got -3 to health because we've got cancer. And we're still waiting for news on this here immortality chain, and I wouldn't want him to die prematurely before that event chain ends. So yeah, we're going to go for the ambitious traits. We're gonna have to make up some sort of a story as to why Hrafn and Harald decides to become bitter rivals. Maybe it's because of his stubborn nature. He's stubborn, a bit lazy, and we have to basically give him a major scolding. We have to make him feel very uncomfortable as a means to instill ambition in him. A bit of tough love. After all, it says we're making a self-sacrifice for him, so bit of tough love, getting him to become more ambitious, yet at the cost of our personal relationship with the boy. So fuck it, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get him to be ambitious. There we are. He hates our guts now. I still think it makes sense, though. Though we might not be a man of too much ambition, we do want to get things done. So we got 116 gold and 116 prestige, which is fan-flippin-tastic. Let's take the boats down and disband all our units. Ooh, we're up to 4,000 troops. Many important warriors have gathered in the lodge tonight in order to celebrate a recent hunt. I've barely joined some of my friends in the festivities when Ingebjörg, this here woman, this 27-year-old dull and wounded woman, is claiming she's twice as strong as I am. Really, love? Really? So she's challenged me to an arm wrestling match to prove it. You are on the arm wrestling challenge. Ingebjörg and I sit in front of the other, preparing ourselves for the game. We put our arms on the table while a third fighter holds our fists still. The crowd around us chants as a disjointed countdown and cheers as we start pushing against each other. Rah! Things are not looking great for Ingebjörg. I'm slowly managing to get her knuckles on the table, despite her best efforts to push my hand back, when she suddenly shouts a semi-coherent warning about something dangerous behind me. I am baffled. Really, girl? You think I'm that stupid? With a loud thud, I slam Ingebjörg's fist against the table, earning a shower of cheers from the other warriors gathered around us. My opponent glares at me and mumbles something about accepting defeat as she rubs her hand. Nah, we are an honorable kind of feller, so we'd still tell her not to be hard on ourselves, even though she did act a little bit arrogant. Young Harald plays hard and talks straight. Let's try to teach him bravery, because we're brave. Obviously, he doesn't listen to us and picks honesty instead. He might not be much of a warrior, sadly. Probably because he hates our guts, and he's now doing the contrary to everything we say. That's just fantastic. A group of robbers calling themselves the Band of Brothers have been brought before me. The long list of all their crimes does not put them in good light. They will pay amercement. Yes, that's right. They will pay amercement. Whatever the shit that is. I'm kind of torn now, because there's going to be another event of the Immortality Chain coming up. I could go after Blekinge, but the event may pop up before we conclude the war, and if the event ends up in our death, then the whole damn war's gonna be for nothing. But this goddamn flame's gonna be for nothing too, if we die without having pressed it. As a son was born to Hrafn and Svanhild, we're gonna accept the name Thorbjörn, but we're going to change this here letter and call him Torbjörn. Yeah, Torbjörn, a proper Viking name. Welcome to the world, little Torbjörn. Hope you'll make a fine Viking someday. Ooh, Holmgir's become steward of Själland, just like he was steward of Skåne. Wait, has Hallgrim become the steward now? What? Who the hell is the steward? Now it's Hallgrim that's the steward, even though he sucks at stewardship. Anyways, we're gonna give it till the beginning of next year. If the event hasn't triggered until the beginning of the next year, we're going to war for Blekinge. We're going to assume he stays alive until the opposite actually occurs. So you got 1 month now. 1 month to surprise me. A trial of faith. When you, after a long wait, are summoned to Amida's chambers again, you are excited. What mystical challenge lies ahead of you this time? There's a spring in your step as you enter to find her standing like a statue, head bowed, hands holding something to you. Sometimes you wonder what she does when you're not around. Does she even move? What's this? You ask. Magic, she says naturally. The time has come for your spirit to choose its next vessel. No, don't be afraid. The breath of life within you is powerful enough to be passed on. You should be proud. She hands you a water skin and motions to the floor. Then she begins to hum. It is both melodic and eerie. Ooh. This is the part I got to with the previous character last time I did this. This resulted in my death, which meant this whole thing was a failure. Potentially kill you, but there's a chance of something incredible happening. We pretend to drink the liquid, but it will close our body to the spiritual forces. This is the moment of truth, I guess. This could really be the last... God damn it! Flipping timer of all the times to bloody beep! Well, this is the moment we've been waiting for. This is the moment of truth. Like I said, it's do or bust. And, we either continue playing as an immortal Hrafn, or we don't play as Hrafn anymore. Which is really a shame, because I'm liking the guy. He's got good stats. He deserves to accomplish something. Like, we've only just started taking control of him, and now I feel we're gonna lose him. Oh, but this is just too good of an opportunity to pass up on. At least I know the realm is in safe hands, if anything does happen, and at the very least, it does fit the roleplay aspect. He is willing to risk this to get rid of his disease, because he's not going to live long with the disease anyhow, so... Whew! Let's do this. You're so wise, Amita. We gulp down the liquid and lay down on the floor, closing our eyes to the sound of Amita's voice. It will potentially kill us, but there's a chance of something incredible happening. I'm totally taking a chance here. I'm completely taking a chance. I know there's a way you can check whether or not they're a fraud using console commands. I could have done it before the game, but I decided to purposefully keep myself in the dark. Make this a complete chance act, so to speak, because it only makes sense that I'm as much in the blind as you are. If I'd known what she was at the time of the recording, I would have just adjusted my decision based on that, and it would be metagaming. Whereas from a roleplay perspective, Hrafn is as much in the blind as I am right now, so I'm getting a more immersive experience this way, so... Fuck it, let's go! The final ritual. Amita's chanting grows faint as you find yourself floating upwards, looking down at your own body. The room has a strange purple hue to it, as if twilight had fallen, yet it shouldn't have. The mystic leans in over your body, touching your forehead, and she speaks, but you can't make out what she's saying. You struggle to move closer to her thought in the air, but you feel like you're underwater, your limbs heavy, your movement slowed to a crawl. You try to call her attention by screaming, but no sound comes out. Suddenly she turns around, not seeing you, but sensing you're present. She moves her hand through the air where you hang and smiles. You can barely make out the words she says. You're a brave warrior, Hrafn, and your spirit is strong. I hope we meet again. Well, this is what happened last time. We failed, and we die. Chief Hrafn feasts in Valhalla at age 36. He died under suspicious circumstances. Well known to be charitable, he freely gave money to his friends and family. A godly man, Hrafn is with the Thunderer now. And thus we pass on to Chief Harald. Merely 15 years old, the realm is left in the capable hands of the Regent and Council. Long live Chief Harald! It's a good thing we didn't attack Blekinge then, otherwise, even if we had won the war, we'd have lost Blekinge to one of our brothers and we'd have to claim that back from our own kin, but, hey-ho. Oh, she's fucking gone now. Can we check her out? Can we go to the console and take a look at her? Mystic weapon is sword. Where does it say? Ethnicity, portrait, society, AI controlled. Eternal life, mystic. Weapon is sword, do not disturb. It doesn't say here. Maybe I have to go back and check. Maybe I have to go back, like load up an autosave file or something, but whatever, we'll look into that later, so be it. We'll pause the game now and take a look at our new ruler, who's 15 years of age now, and there's only going to be a 1-year regency till we assume the mantle of Harald II, Harald Ravnsson, new chief of Skåne. This guy was so good. Like, this guy was just absolutely amazing. We could have done great things with him if not for his goddamn cancer. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Vagn Ravnsson? Hold on a second. Who the hell is Vagn Ravnsson? Hold on just a second. He suddenly had a child named Vagn. What's all this about? He just had a child magically out of nowhere. Oh man, this lady was indeed carrying some sort of weird secrets. But anyways, we're going to have to dish everything out in the next session. I will do some more pondering and reflection, and then we'll see which direction this new ruler is gonna take us. Is he finally gonna be the one that's gonna take our dynasty all the way to where we wanted to go in the first place? To know that, you'll just have to wait and see. For the next time we play, he'll be an adult man, he'll marry, we'll dish out some objectives, and take it from there. So yeah, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope you'll have a good evening, a good day, or a good night, wherever in the world you are. And I look forward to see you again next time.